Welcome back to the Deep Dive Sports Podcast, and this is your host Kurt. And just want to get on here and talk about a little bit of NFL. And the NFL season is almost here. Us football fans, we really like this time of year. Very exciting to get a new year started. And there's just a few things that I just want to kind of hit on as the off season comes to an end and we get into the regular season. So, with that said, I'm not going to waste too much more time, and let's just get to what we want to get to. Let's see here. All right. So, as you know, the Indianapolis Colts name Danny Dimes or Jones their starting quarterback, and Anthony Richardson. He came into this year healthy and couldn't get it done. Lost the I won't even say he lost the starting position, but he didn't win the starting position. Um, so my thing is at this point, is Anthony Richardson a bust? And I hate to put this label on the young man, but you would almost say at this point, it's looking that way. But the one thing that I would say, and it's been reports out there that the Colts maybe want to move him, and I think really at this point, it's probably a good thing for both the Colts and Richardson to get moved and kind of start over. And sometimes that's a good thing for players, and especially, I mean, he's a talent. I mean, he has all the tools, strong arm, athletic ability, but it's just it didn't work. It just didn't work in Indianapolis, and it's a lot of. I mean, part of his fault, probably some of the coach's fault. They probably rushed him. They absolutely rushed him to play way too early. I believe, and so it's probably just a good thing for him to get out of there right now. But one of the things that I heard is it's two teams that may be interested in him, and that's the LA Rams and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is just totally rumors, and this could actually may not be true. It's probably not true, but I was just thinking about it, and if it is true, um, that would be something that he really should look and really should push because when you look at these numbers, I mean, these are career numbers. 50.6 completion rate percentage, 11 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and a 67.8 passer rating. And that's just not going to cut it. So right now, when you look at those numbers, he's absolutely a bust. But going back to the Rams and the Steelers, if this was if this is a true situation, um, two good head coaches that I think maybe could turn him around. But honestly, if I'm Anthony Richardson, and if these rumors are true, I'm telling my agent to do whatever he can do to get me to the Rams. Um, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but Mike Tomlin haven't shown that he can develop a quarterback. He just haven't. Um, from what I hear, Anthony Richardson is not a head case or a problem, And I think Tomlin is more adaptive dealing with those type players and getting, the best and getting the most out of guys like that, where this is not a situation. And this is just a quarterback that I think that needs to be built back up. He needs to be built back up. And I think Sean McVay would definitely be the guy if Richardson can be saved. I think Sean McVay could be a guy that could do it. Where I don't really see Mike Tomlin, doing that, and just haven't had the track record to show that he can even do that. So if I was the Rams, I would definitely try to um, get Richardson if they could, because they probably could get him fairly cheap. And I think that would be a great deal for them. So moving on. This is something, and I think I don't know what year this came out, and I was looking at this, and it was just one thing that I thought I would maybe change a little bit, and this was Bill Parcells' quarterback rule. So this is what Bill Parcells have always preached. If you're going to draft a quarterback, these are the 5 things that he always wanted his quarterback to have, if he could, draft a quarterback. And I agree on 4 of the 5, but like I say, this is probably old school Bill, and at the time, the game's just changed. So, I'll get to the one thing that I think I would actually want to see a little better than what he's asking for. So he's saying if you draft a quarterback, he needs to at least be a 3-year starter. And that, I can kind of go with that. So you're either saying a guy, especially now with these guys moving around, but you're almost saying a guy comes in, um, if he stays at the same school and he could start as a freshman, get 3 years out of him that way, or more than likely he goes to a school, sit as a freshman, plays as a sophomore, junior, um, red shirt sophomore, red shirt junior, and then comes back and play another year. To get those 3 years, I could, I could, I agree with that. I definitely think a guy should at least start 3 years. Um, so that one I can check off on that. Be a senior and graduate from college. Well, that's another one actually. So that one is not really, because now, like I say, these guys are coming in, they're playing early, and you're getting 3 years, maybe 4 years, but you can get you being for them to graduate, they can definitely do that. Um, because they had that red shirt year. And I think just having a guy that graduate, it's just in my mind, and probably in Parcells' mind, that's just just having a guy that could actually finish something that he started. You know, so that's the way I kind of look at that. But yeah, definitely, I'm not gonna really say you have to be a senior, but definitely, you would want a guy that probably just started something that finished something that he started and graduated from college. At least 30 starts. Um, so he want a guy to have at least 30 starts and win at least 23 games. That's that's fair. I mean that way. I mean, you want a winner. You want a guy that's a winner. You don't really want a guy that can put up a lot of numbers, but he's not winning no games. And but sometimes guys could be in different situations. But I will say again, with these quarterbacks now moving around, so more than likely, if you are a good quarterback and you maybe not being in a good position or with a good team, you can move, you can leave. So more than likely, if you leave, you're going somewhere where you can win. So okay, I can roll with the 30 games and at least winning 23. A 2-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Again, that's I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And then the last one where I was kind of saying that I think now because of the way the game is played, I actually want to see this a little higher. He's saying at least a 60% completion rate. I would say at least a 64 to 65% completion rate because the game has just changed and these guys put the ball up a lot, but they're not just chucking back and throwing deep balls and all that. So I would just want that completion rate to be a little higher. But I just thought this was interesting, and I think some teams really should do this, keep this philosophy when they go out there and want to draft a quarterback. And if you look at Anthony Richardson, he really didn't. I don't even think he checked off any of these on this list. And you see what you got. So it's some truth to what his rule is, and that's something that I would definitely go by if I was in that situation and I was drafting a quarterback. All right, let's move down to Big D. Big D, Jerry Jones. What is wrong with this guy, man? Um, and this is my thing with Jerry and this Micah Parsons situation. I understand. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money you're gonna have to pay him. But that Jerry knows that he is going to pay the money. At the end of the day, he ended up costing himself. He ended up costing himself more money because Jerry wants to push things back and not really. I don't know. Like I say, if I was a Cowboy fan, I'd be very frustrated. More than likely, this deal is going to get done probably the night before the game or something like that. I mean, anything. I almost feel like Jerry wants to be in the news. He has that. Any news is good news. Again, this is going to be a big contract. I mean, it's probably going to cost 42 million a year, 5 years. That's about 210 million. Probably going to have to guarantee anywhere from 120 to 125 million guaranteed. So the contract can get done. You know how numbers are. So I think at the end of the day, it's the years and the guaranteed money, and he's gonna have to at least guarantee him at least. Um, Again, like I say, 120, 125, maybe 115. I'm not really not sure, but the thing of it is the contract is going to get done, and I just don't understand Jerry why he puts his guys through this. But this is what he do. He did it with Emmitt Smith. He's done it with almost everybody except his quarterbacks. He really don't do it with his quarterbacks too much. But that's just Jerry being Jerry. And like I say, I think Jerry just believes in any news the Cowboys can dominate is a good thing for him. Um, so the deal of the week, I would say, and this is something that you're probably gonna get a lot of trades, around this time. But I just thought this was a great trade for the San Francisco Giants to get Brian Robinson Jr. to back up McCaffrey. That's a great that's a great 1-2 punch, especially with McCaffrey kind of being nipped up a little bit and going through some injury things. This is going to be a good thing for them. San Francisco love run the ball, so um, I just thought this was a good deal, and it will be some more deals coming as everybody going to get their roster cut down. So look for more real deals to happen in the near future. And one of the last things is roster cut down is August 26th on, I think that's Tuesday at 4 o'clock. So, as always, again, there's always some trades, but it's always that surprise cut or even surprise trade, and I still see that happening. So it's gonna be very interesting. What's going on? I know a lot of guys probably got the bubble guts right now because teams are actually cutting guys now, and they got to be down to 53 by 4 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday. So with that said, we will see what happens, and we'll kind of go from there. So that's pretty much it. Just wanted to talk about a few things and get this channel back up going. So if you can, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe, and let's build this channel, and let's keep talking sports. And that is really about it. And enjoy your Saturday and have a good time and take care. I'm out.